course, at the end of your first week, you are going to do traditions training. And traditions is basically the general training that everybody in the college program is going to go through before you go into your welcome to ops training and then onto like more specific training for your role. But everybody does traditions, and I just want to say it's magical. Like, I know that some people don't feel this way. I thought it was amazing. It is the most wonderful training I have ever gone through for a job in my life. It made me have so much more respect for this company, because Disney, they take a lot of pride in their traditions, and hence the name. See what I did there? By the way, if you're a Broadway person, you would appreciate knowing that literally all week I've had Fiddler on the Roof in my mind. Every time I'm like, oh, I have traditions, I'm thinking tradition, tradition, tradition. If most of you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but for those of you who do, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so it's amazing. Again, I'm not giving you any spoilers. I think I did not watch any videos about traditions before I went, and I loved the surprises that they had for us. It was like, don't get me wrong, there are boring parts. It's long. It's like the training itself is about 4 hours, but I left to go to the bus at 1 and I got home a little bit before 8 just because there's the bus ride to and from and other things that happen that I'm not going to tell you about. But it's a little bit of a process. It's going to take up half your day. So I have some tips I want to share with you guys about traditions and just things to help you like prepare or help you understand what is this day gonna look like, again, without giving you any spoilers. So you are either going to be put in a morning traditions class or you're gonna be put in afternoon. Daniel and I both had afternoon classes, so I don't know a lot about morning and like the setup for that. I would say that if you're going to morning class, eat breakfast before you go, drink coffee, because it's going to be pretty early. The nice thing, like, don't complain if you have the morning class though, because if you have the morning class, that means once your class is done, you get to go to a park, whereas the afternoon classes, we get out pretty late, so it's not always worth going to a park because you're only going to be there for a few hours before the park closes. So actually be really excited if you have a morning class, and if you have an afternoon class, just oh well, you can either go to a park that evening or you can wait till the next day when you can go. Anyway, for the afternoon class, what they said that you could either bring money for food or you could pack a lunch. And I found that none of our breaks, because they gave us 2 breaks, none of them were actually long enough to take a lunch. The only time we could have taken lunch is when we took the bus from our housing complex to Disney University. And I just kind of felt like they had us sit in a cafeteria to wait for like your class time, because not everybody goes to the same class. They break it up, and basically like I just felt like that was the only time you could eat lunch, is when you were waiting for your class. So honestly, in my opinion, if you have an afternoon class, don't pack a lunch. Eat lunch before you go, and then pack snacks, because again, it's a longer day. So you want probably something to snack on. Like, there's never really a good time to pull out a sack lunch, or they're not going to dismiss you to go to the cafeteria and buy food except at the beginning of your training. At least, again, this is how they did it for the afternoon class. I don't know if this was true for the morning class, if they did have a lunch break technically or not. I don't know. So yeah, also you can bring drinks. They did have water provided for us in the rooms. I did pack a water bottle, so if you want one, you can bring one. Also, if you want any drinks that are not water, so if you want to bring soda, coffee in a thermos or something like that, I bring it. Again, just make sure that it's something you can put away in your bag, but it didn't seem like they had any issues with people having bottles on the table. If you want, you can bring sunglasses, because you will be outside for a little bit. So if you want to bring your sunglasses with you, pack those as well in case it's bright when you guys go outside. And another thing, big tip for you, is wear comfortable shoes. Do not wear new shoes, because you know what is not magical? Blisters. Blisters are not magical. I made a huge mistake, and I bought some black flats because I had really gross black flats I threw out a while ago, and I just haven't bought new ones. And so I thought with training I needed to buy new ones, and then I didn't break them in, so I wore them for the first time yesterday and I tore up my feet. It hurt. It was not fun. Like, I know that it's hard because you need to wear nicer shoes. Like, they are a little bit pickier about the shoes that you can wear for traditions and training and stuff like that. But seriously, like, if you're gonna buy new shoes, then wear them some other time before your traditions training. Also, even if you have shoes that you've worn before, I would recommend packing band-aids. I saw a lot of people pull those out. I brought some, and even though I brought some and put them on my feet, it still didn't completely resolve the issue. But if you know these shoes are the shoes you're wearing could give you blisters, put band-aids on before you even leave, or pack them in your bag. Plenty of people have them, so don't feel weird packing them, but definitely bring some band-aids with you. You don't need to bring anything like a notebook or pens or pencils. They're going to provide all that stuff for you, so don't bring that. Bring the things that they have on your itinerary that you need to bring. Make sure you're on time. And if you are driving yourself, there are people who showed up early and were still technically late because the first 2 classes they called us in earlier than the time. I know that's not technically fair, but I know some people who were in the first class because they like were just trying to get the group going so early because they were technically late for their class. They had to wait for the last one. So if you're driving yourself, literally show up probably an hour early because you don't know when they're going to start things. I've heard other classes have started really late, so it could literally just depend, but they're gonna go on based on when the people in the bigger buses at the complexes show up. So just be prepared to be early and wait a lot. I would say wear layers. A lot of people were complaining the traditions classrooms were really cold. I personally thought ours was fine. I was wearing a dress. By the way, I'll show you guys what I was wearing. I was wearing a dress with a blazer, and I was completely comfortable in it. Again, you are gonna go outside, so I would just recommend wear layers just in case, like, what if the classroom is really cold, but then later when you go outside it's gonna be really warm. So obviously, girls, you can't be wearing like a spaghetti strap dress and then like wear something over it and take it off when you go outside. You can't do that. I think some girls did have sleeveless stuff though, so that's acceptable, but I think it has to be a certain width. Again, look at your Disney look handbook thing that is really long, but look it over to make sure. But I would say you're better off having layers that you can add to or take off easily, just in case because again, you're gonna be there for a little while and you don't want to be uncomfortable. You don't want to go outside and be like dripping in sweat because you didn't wear something where you could take like your jacket off when you go outside. So just keep those things in mind. And yes, you want to look nice, you want to look professional, but be comfortable. Like, just wear something that you know you're going to be okay. Again, sitting in a room for 4 hours, sitting on a bus, walking through Florida heat and all of the things above. So I just wanted to go over some general tips for you guys for your first week, and the main tip I have for you is pack as soon as possible. You don't want to be tripping over your stuff. You don't want to leave this to last minute, and you definitely don't want to get into your training and be unpacked. Like, you have plenty of time your first week, just do it. I personally hate unpacking. Like, I get really excited to pack to go somewhere. I'm not always a fan of unpacking. I get really bored with it, so I would kind of do like a few things a day because some people I would recommend, if you are somebody who can push through it the first day, just get it over with, get everything unpacked. Also, because as you unpack, you will start to realize things that you need to go buy. Make sure that you either put a list on your phone as you go. Don't think you're gonna remember it when you get to the store. You will not, or write it down somewhere. So that you can remember things that you need to buy from the store. So that's why it's good to unpack. And also, just because throughout the week, even though you don't have a lot going on, you are just gonna like need to run places, and you might need things like your itinerary, you might need your program guide, you might need some IDs and different things like that. So you don't want to like be losing those things because you haven't unpacked and all your stuff is in chaos. And yeah, and you don't want to be late for things because you can't find the pair of shorts that you've been looking for, but they're like buried somewhere in your suitcase that you haven't unpacked yet, stuff like that. So just unpack as soon as possible, and you'll feel more at home. And yeah, and again, you won't want to do it later, so just do it. My other tip for you is don't be afraid to ask questions. You can ask people around you. Sometimes they know things, especially you're going to figure out pretty quickly that there are going to be alumni. Quite a few alumni return to the program. And I will tell you, like, I just want to say flat out, thank you, helpful alumni. You have been amazing this week. I had some really great alumni in my traditions group yesterday who had worked Magic Kingdom last spring on their program, and they were like showing me where I needed to go for my training and told me all about costuming and stuff like that. If you are an alumni, please be understanding of people who are new. We just don't know anything. We're so new and we have so much to learn, and you have so much to teach us. So please be helpful. And again, thank you to those wonderful people this week who have answered all my annoying questions. You've been amazing. But yeah, don't be nervous to ask questions. A lot of times don't be afraid to ask questions. Generally the people around you have the same questions, or they ask the same questions, or just don't like be late or get off at the wrong bus stop because you didn't ask or stuff like that. Just ask. Just ask the people around you. It's gonna be okay. Everyone's been really friendly and helpful, which brings me on to my next point is don't be afraid to talk to people. You're gonna probably have the same conversation all week where it's like, hey, where are you from? What's your role? Where are you working? What's your location? And that's fine. Like, it's really fun to get to know people, meet people. You never know. I've met several people who have literally had the same job and location as me, so I'll probably see them even more throughout this training process. And you never know, someone might live near you, so you guys could become like friends because you're neighbors, stuff like that. Just be friendly. Everyone this week has been so nice, so don't hesitate to just chat with people and get to know other people and nerd out about Disney things, because you know everybody is. So that's really all you guys need to know about your first week for the Disney College program. If this is your if you got accepted, I wish you all luck. I hope you all have a wonderful program, and yeah, that's all I have for you guys. So thanks for watching.